Donald Trump's immigration proposals and his statements about minorities are criticized and often condemned by his opponents. Elaine Quijano of our streaming network CBSN spoke to some Latino voters who support Trump in spite of his controversial rhetoric. She's here with a preview of a program that CBSN will air tonight. Elaine, good morning.
Good morning. From the very first day Donald Trump declared his presidential candidacy, his remarks about Latinos have been called racist and alienating. But for some Latino voters, that is not how they see it. We went to the Texas-Mexico border to speak with a number of Latinos who say they are 100% behind getting Donald Trump into the White House.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
I mean, he's not saying that we're all rapists.
I'm a former chief of police on a border town. I'm Hispanic, proud to be Hispanic, and I'm 100% behind Donald Trump for his candidacy to the White House.
My name is Miriam Cepeda. I am an American graduate student here at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and I wholeheartedly believe that Mr. Donald J. Trump will make America great again.
My name is Frank Santos, and I was born in Tijuana, Mexico. I am voting for Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States.
My whole life, I would ask my teacher what's the difference between a Republican and a Democrat, and the teacher's answer was always the same. It was, you know what, mijo, you're poor, you're Hispanic, you're a Democrat, and you know what, that's not true.
Who the hell do you want as your president, right?
You know, one of the main issues that this country, that we have had for so many years is what to do with the undocumented people that are already residing here in this country illegally. I have a Social Security card. You have a Social Security card. We're accounted. I have to pay IRS taxes when I'm due. I mean, and these people are not paying any of those.
A lot of strategists realize that if the Republicans could get 30% of the Hispanic vote back in the 90s, that they could win statewide elections. The Latino vote is critical for Republican success, and it has to be about that 30% threshold. And now, with the growing...
So many of these voters appear to agree with a lot of his policies. Where do they stand on his plans to build that wall?
Well, so it's interesting. They don't necessarily think that he's going to do that. You know, I talked to them about that specifically, and they say, look, he's a negotiator. This is something he's put out there, and it's only a starting point for the discussion to come. What they do like is what they perceive as his support for stronger border enforcement. They think the Border Patrol Agency needs to have better funding, and so they're behind him.
When you say they, who are you talking about?
So Miriam Cepeda is a good example of that, right? She is a millennial who actually knows undocumented immigrants who are among her friends and among her relatives.
And she doesn't believe they will be deported.
She has mixed feelings about that. She's one of those whose situation is very complex. She told us that her father is actually incarcerated right now, involved, she believed, in a crime that had an undocumented immigrant as its genesis, she says. So for her, it's very personal. She's living this. She says, look, I have seen some folks come across the border, not have any kind of gainful employment, and then they turn to crime, and they turn to drugs, and they turn to these other ways of trying to survive. So
these are all
it's very
from
personal.
A border town area.
Yes, in Laredo.
And nationwide, how many people have Hispanics have a favorable view of Trump?
So it's about 20%. So
all right, something tells me the Trump campaign will be calling you. Could we have that tape, Ms. Quijano? Thank you.
We don't hear from them that often, so we thought it was important.
You might get a call today.
Hear from the Latinos.
Exactly.
Exactly. Got it.
We do hear a lot from Trump.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We don't hear that
Hear all the
perspective.
voices.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Diversity of
Thank you,
voices.
Very well done. Thanks. You can watch Elaine's full report. It's called Nuestro Amigo Latinos for Trump, part of CBSN Originals. It premieres tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and 10 Central, with a panel discussion to follow. You can watch at cbsnews.com, on the CBS News app, and devices like Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire.